Hey y'all, it's Katie. As I'm sure most of you are aware, Lord of Shadows comes out this Thursday. Lord of Shadows is my most anticipated read of 2017. I'm so excited for this book, as I'm pretty positive it's going to be the best book of the year. Since Lord of Shadows is coming out in 3 days now. Oh my god, guys, it was just over a year. But since Lord of Shadows is coming out in 3 days, I thought I would talk about some of my theories, what I think we're going to be looking forward to in this book, what we're going to see, kind of a little bit of what's going to go down, but I don't have a lot of specific predictions, so here are my theories. So, I think we're all on the same page as far as, one of the Blackthorns is going to die at some point in the series, and I don't want that to happen. Believe me, I do not. I want some resurrection type shit to go down. I want everyone to be okay. But as we know, this is Cassie. Cassie is evil and has no problem killing everyone we love. So many Blackthorns. It feels like a given that one of them is gonna die. I'm pretty sure that the one who's gonna die is gonna be Livy. Just think about it with me for a minute. So, most of the time, our love triangles, love stories end up working out with Cassie. That is the one thing that we can count on. So I'm pretty sure Julian's gonna be okay. Mark has suffered a bunch of other stuff already, so he's already gotten his fill of suffering. Tavi we just thought was gonna die, so we know that it won't be him, most likely. Ty, I just don't see Ty dying. I just don't see it happening. What I think is gonna happen is that something will happen. Livy will die because that will break Ty, and it's gonna break Julian. Those are Julian's kids. That's gone. That is the other half of Ty's heart. It's gonna be so bad. And I'm just because I think that death would be more painful than anything else, because not only am I oh my god, I'm gonna miss Livy, it's everyone else is gonna lose their minds. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Livy, guys. Then I'm wondering, I think this book we're probably going to find out more about Diana. I know in the first book, we kind of got a little bit of her. Most of the time, she was just, sketchy and running off and disappearing when they needed her, and, had all these reasons that weren't really reasons for not doing anything, for not helping, and Julian was just when are you going to explain? And she still hasn't, so I have a feeling that that's going to come to fruition in this book. I really do think that Diana is on their side. I don't think she's going to turn out to be evil. I do think there's going to still be some betrayal, but not from her. I feel like it's going to come from their Uncle Arthur. That is my prediction. Something will happen, and Uncle Arthur, even though he's crazy, he'll have a little bit of, lucidity and awareness, and, in those moments, he's going to be betraying them, because of what happened to him in the fairy realm. I don't know how many of you guys read Tales from Shadowhunter Academy. I just read it recently, and based on the story with that, I feel like he has a lot of lingering resentment towards Andrew, and thus towards Andrew's kids and towards the Fairfolk, and I feel like he's gonna start working with some anti-Fairfolk people to kind of I don't know, just do something that's gonna mess with them, and I feel like he's definitely gonna take it out on Mark as well. Then, we have these lovely love triangles that just make me so happy. We have Julian, Emma, and Mark. Even though Mark is kind of fake, but kind of not. We're, unsure what's going down there because, on the last page, because of the why pretend thing. So, we have that love triangle. Then we have the Emma, Mark, Kieran love triangle. Then we have the Mark, Christina, Diego love triangle. This is a mess. It's a mess. My feels are already all over the place. I haven't even started this book, and I'm already, crying just thinking about it. I can't even. 3 love triangles? A triple? What is this nonsense? Obviously, at the end of the day, I think Julian and Emma are going to end up together. That's, the one thing that we know, one of them will probably die along the way. I don't know. Something's gonna happen. They'll come back and it'll be fine. They will be together in the end after they go through a bunch of pain and everyone they care about dies and we cry a lot. So they'll be alive, but we'll feel like they died anyways because we're in so much pain. I just don't know with the other two. I don't know what I ship. I like Kieran and Mark when Kieran's not being a massive dick. Like, he is really cool, and I think he's really good for Mark. But when he lets his jealousy get in the way and affect his actions, and, like, the things that he did in Lady Midnight are, like, a little bit unforgivable. So I don't know how I feel about him and Mark getting back together, potentially. I do like Diego and Christina, but I felt like Christina and Mark had such a connection. Like, I don't know. I don't know who to ship. And this is one of my smaller ones, but Cameron Ashdown. We saw him mentioned several times in Lady Midnight because he's Emma's on-again, off-again boyfriend that, like, is in love with her, that she doesn't actually really care that much for. Like, he's just a friend. No big deal. And I feel like Cameron is going to play a bigger part in this story. I was saying I think someone's going to betray them. I think it's going to be Arthur. And I also think it's going to be Cameron. I have this feeling that he is going to be not okay with being stilted this last time by Emma. And I feel like, A, he's going to figure out what's going on with her and Julian or something. And then, like, try to spread the word about that to, like, get them in trouble. And B, I just feel like he's gonna do whatever he can to take revenge. Like, I just feel like he's not gonna let this go. He's really upset about this, and he's kind of done, and he's gonna let that affect his actions a lot and turn against them in Lord of Shadows and the book that follows this in the series. The final thoughts that I want to talk about in this series video are those of Lady Midnight, Annabelle Blackthorne. Guys, I'm still so, like, whoo, when I think about the whole Annabelle Lee and the chapter titles being the poem and, like, her being the Blackthorn, and, like, that was so brilliant. Obviously, Cassandra Clare's writing is brilliant in the first place. Her storylines are always great. Her characters are so fun to read about, and, like, her writing itself, like, it draws you in. But I think that was, like, the ultimate, that was the achievement I do not think I have seen in any other thing. I don't know what it is, that storyline, and her usage of the poem, like, was just brilliant. I don't know that she can do anything to ever top that, because I love, love, love that so much. So, we end Lady Midnight, and our warlock is dead, and we think that the woman he was trying to resurrect was dead, but in the epilogue we find out that she is not. She is coming back to life, and obviously she's gonna want retribution because the one that she loved was killed by them. I don't know, y'all. I am worried about this. I do not know how this is gonna go. I definitely think that Annabelle's gonna turn on them a little bit. Like, they're gonna try to play the family card and be like, hey, like, this wasn't us, but obviously she hates her family, so that's not gonna help. It's gonna make it worse, and she's just gonna go crazy, and nobody's been resurrected before, so we don't know what kind of powers she has. And I feel like she might have some sketchy ones, like, beyond the powers of shadow hunters. And then maybe the parabatai powers will be the only ones that can combat her because magic. Just saying, that's a possibility. I don't know what's going to go down here. I do think she's going to have powers beyond that of a normal shadow hunter. I think she's going to be against the Blackthorns, and I feel like she's going to start doing something to pull a larger threat. A lot of times with stories, like, we have the one thing that's happening, and you're so focused on, like, this, and you're like, this is our foe. And then as soon as you, like, defeat them, you realize this whole time this huger foe was building, waiting in the wings to take their opportunity. So I feel like that's what's going to be like right now. They're dealing with the fair folk, and they're going to do that. And then as soon as they're finished with that, all of a sudden, they're going to realize that Lady Midnight has started this army or something, and it's going to be bad. So that is all my thoughts and theories for Lord of Shadows. So excited for it to come out this week. I hope you guys are too. Can't wait to talk about it with you. Let me know if you have any theories that I have not touched on. I'm excited for this, guys.